Welcome back, and we told you about the exclusive. The time is nigh. Let's have a chat with the General Secretary of the National Democratic Congress, Mr. Johnson Asiedu Nketia, popularly known as General Mosquito. General, welcome. Good morning. How are you doing?
Thank you very much.
I like the firm handshake. It's reassuring. How is the NDC doing these days?
Well, we are doing fine. Our programs are on course. Indeed, we were supposed to address the press 2 days ago,
right,
to indicate the way forward. But it happens that this whole U.S.-Ghana agreement became so important for us to discuss, so we shelved that press engagement and have taken to defending the interests of the nation first before we go back to our party interests.
So until you're done, the press conference is not coming up. When do you hope to have this press conference?
Well, I'm sure we will inform the press before we break for the Easter. But, you know, between today and tomorrow, we have very important activities to undertake. Right from here, all the minority parties are going to address the press about tomorrow's event, and then tomorrow there will be a manifestation in town indicating our abhorrence to this whole agreement between the government of Ghana and the United States concerning the military deployment in Ghana.
I know that you know, this has become a very significant issue. We'll talk about it. But your party was pushing for reorganization and re-registration. How far we gone with that? I've seen the school also ongoing.
We've done the registration. We are done with it. So the re-registration is the basis for the reorganization. And so we are going to inform our members about the timelines and the various regulations that will govern the process of our elections from branch, constituency, regional, and national, and also about the wings, women's wing, youth wing, the Zongo caucus, and so on. So that will be the subject of our next press engagement.
In the issue of reorganization, the heat of it, there was the unity walks. The very popular unity walks. Has it achieved its purpose, first of all?
Well, the unity walks were initiatives from the regions. So it's not like the NDC at the national level has indicated a program for unity walks and so on. So they are still ongoing. I'm sure many of the regions have held them, and the others, I'm told, will be holding them. But whilst that is happening, we are also, you know, concurrently also engaged in registration, and then the internal party elections, whose timetable we are going to lay out.
And there are concerns that JM sort of hijacked the unity walks. Persons have declared their interest in becoming flag bearers of your party, and they say that, well, it looks as if JM is the one who always will address the crowds there. Did that concern get to you as well?
I heard about it, but I didn't find it necessary to engage in that type of conversation.
Why so?
If there are regional initiatives, we have nothing to do with the funding. I don't know who funded them and so on. So if anybody has concerns about how they are organized and who gets the opportunity to speak, I guess the appropriate place to go is to engage the
but to the extent that it affects the totality, the national character of the party, in the eyes of the public.
It does not.
It does not?
It does not, because campaigning can be done by anybody and everybody within the party. So if a region or a constituency decides to do a national program to further the interests of the party in that particular constituency, they don't need national you know, approval or anything. So if anybody has an intention of maybe contesting for any position, they may also wish to engage the regions to finance and organize any such activity, so long as nothing said there would seem to be dividing the party, but it is, you know, to support the cause of the party. They are welcome to do so.
Right. There were 5 candidates who had expressed interest ahead, and knowing that your party's constitution says if you are in opposition 2 years away from the election, you should organize and pick a flag bearer. Names like Dr. Ekospio Gabra, Professor Alabi, John Mahama himself, Mr. Alban Bagbin. I've forgotten the fifth one, though, but they are all in the fall.
Oh, you didn't hear the rumor about me going to?
I heard the rumor, but
these all remain rumors. You understand? Because there is no nomination papers to pick.
Okay.
The vacancy has not been declared, and so they continue to be rumors.
But do you have presidential ambitions?
Me?
Yes.
At what time?
I'm asking you now, General.
No, I'm saying that, but if you ask generally that from now till I die, do I have presidential ambitions?
No.
I'll not be in the
in
position
2020. Do you have
2020?
Do you have presidential
No,
ambitions?
no.
You don't have at all?
No, I don't have.
Not at all. Does it worry you that ahead of the nomination forms and all of that, you have party stalwarts making their intentions clear, that they would like to lead the party in 2020? Does it worry you?
It doesn't worry me. It's if you like, it's an indication of the attractiveness of the party, because I haven't heard anybody declaring their intention to go to prison.
Okay.
So, so I think that is something that is worthwhile, is what will attract people. So I think it's good. And we are not such a small party that when you are looking for leadership, people will just be looking at the person who established the party, that he should go, like some parties that have
some parties about. Like which one?
Oh, there are several parties out there. Kaunda's party in Zambia. I know about Obote's party in Uganda, and so on. So if you have a party whose leadership is like restricted to a family or the founder or anything, then it means that that party cannot win elections. But if you have a party where many key members are aspiring to lead the party, that tells you that you are engaged in a democratic exercise.
Judging by the 2016 election results, analysts have said that the party was unattractive in that particular election. 2 years away from that, does the party look attractive now in your eyes, from where you sit as General Secretary?
But you seem to be
no, I'm asking.
You seem to be probating and approbating. On the one hand, you are saying it's attracting so many people into leadership.
I'm asking
and then
based
on the
on the event. I'm saying that judging by the 2016 election, political analysts have said that the party, based on that result, was unattractive in the eyes of the Ghanaian people. Now I'm asking you as General Secretary.
You are saying we are unattractive to the electorate.
Exactly. 2 years down the line, per the research that you have done and all of that, has that stance changed in the eyes of the people? Do you know?
I disagree with those who said the party was not attractive to the electorates.
Right.
Because there are several things between people's support for a party and election results declared. In between, there are several things. If you have your support base and they don't move to the polling stations on the right day to cast the right vote, that support will remain a support. It cannot be converted into a presidency. If, on the other hand, if the support base even move to cast their vote, those who are supposed to shepherd the vote, so that from the voting point to the results that are declared on the pink sheets, there can be several things. And even after the pink sheets, from the pink sheets to the national results declaration, there are several things. So I would disagree with anybody who does his political analysis and thinks that NDC was not attractive. To several, in many ways, I didn't see the results of 2016 as reflecting the support base of the party. But we are in a democracy and we are supposed to accept institutional decisions when they are taken. And that's why.
So you don't think that the results as was declared in 2016?
It didn't reflect.
Was the actual thing?
It didn't reflect the support base of the party,
right,
as expressed, in several other ways. But if an institution, because democracy means respect for institutions, believe in institutional ways of running the show. So when institutions speak,
your party founder, Jerry Rawlings, says the party is in the hands of people without integrity. You are the key administrator of your party. Do you agree with this assertion?
I don't agree with it at all.
Why not?
Because he is also in charge, and I don't think that he will call himself a man without integrity. Because he remains the permanent founding father of the party,
right,
and we are all members. So I maybe he's quoted out of context or something. Otherwise, I don't believe that he will be calling the group, including himself, as men of who lack integrity.
Let's talk about Nanado's government. 110 ministers starting off. Who's your best? Who's your worst minister?
Well, the 110.
110.
Well, I haven't done that analysis, but my engagement, even in the last 4 or 5 days, with some of the ministers who have had something to do with this pact between Ghana and America and their utterances and other things, it has reduced my opinion about them. If they are a representative sample of the 110, then I don't think that the taxpayer should continue paying them.
So you're explaining that the Minister for Defense
and the Minister for Information. Yeah. They have disappointed me so much.
Should they
because they continue making statements that cast the government in a certain bad limelight. I don't think the NPP government deserves that type of humiliation. In fact, the latest statement I heard from Mustafa Hamid was that they were going to take the military agreement signed in 1998 and they are going to take them to Parliament.
It will be late today.
So why should the taxpayer be burdened with salaries of such people? Because you see, in your own 2018 agreement, you recognize the fact, a memo coming from Cabinet recognizes the fact that these agreements have been signed, implemented, and they have expired. And that is the reason why you are bringing a new agreement. So what are they talking about? They are going to ask Parliament to waste all their time and the nation's resources to come and sit in Parliament to ratify agreements that have been signed, executed, and died. They are going to ratify them for what purpose? I don't understand them, and I don't think that they are,
Should they be relieved of their posts?
I very much think so.
The Minister for Defense?
I very much think so. And the Minister for Defense too, presenting something, such a crucial agreement, on behalf of the nation. I'm not sure he recognizes the burden he is carrying. That's why he is approaching this work in that lackadaisical manner. I'm not sure he recognizes the burden he is carrying as a minister. So, well, I have stated my view already that he should have not only been relieved of the post, but maybe they should investigate the possibility of bringing him before the law for treason.
Wow.
Yes, because subverting the sovereignty of a nation is a very grievous offense.
What has changed? What's different from that old agreement that you had and this new one? What has changed? What's different?
They themselves have stated it in their memos. They themselves have stated that these were temporary agreements for specific purposes. So they are now bringing in something that is permanent, that is wider in
scope. This is a continuation of what you started.
No, but I'm saying that what they are referring to, they themselves have stated that these are specific purpose things that were put in to achieve a certain purpose. The 1991 one, I remember, I was in government at that time.
Absolutely.
I remember it had to do with some crisis management in the southern part of Africa.
Exactly.
Okay, and so it was an African Union initiative based upon which these things were signed. And then in the 2015 one, it has something to do with the kidnapping of the Chibok girls in Nigeria or something.
Right,
and so America was invited to come and play a role in there by a sister country. And so America, together with that sister country, requested for our support, and we gave it within a certain specific period. They did their job, and that was the end. So if you come to tell us that you are now bringing people to station here permanently, you are giving them immunity from all our laws, and that, and then there is an unlimited number of persons who can come, and they are all coming without passport, without what do you call it, visas, and so on, and they are coming here without work permit and coming to do work. They are not subject to our laws. Nobody can, even the immigration cannot take them back if their conduct is found to be offensive to our laws, and so on and so forth. You understand? Look at, and then you have members of parliament, ministers of state declaring openly that Ghana has no immunity, that Ghana has no sovereignty to protect. If they don't understand what sovereignty, the value of sovereignty, they should watch what is happening on the international scene now between Russia and UK. What happened? Some Russian nationals were found to have been affected by some poisonous this substance. They did not see even Russians coming to, kill their colleague Russians on British soil. They took samples of the poison and did the analysis and realized that that poison was produced in Russia. And because that poison was produced in Russia, they implied that once it is produced exclusively in Russia, Russia might have come to their land to even kill their own Russian citizens. And that is a breach of sovereignty of UK.
Has the country been so cheap?
Look at the reaction. And now you are going to allow some foreign military to come and occupy your land and then declare places where you yourself cannot enter. And then they are free to bring in anything which you yourself cannot inspect.
Has the country been so cheap?
I mean, once you sign this, we don't have any country to talk about.
So tomorrow,
then we have been colonized. So if anybody is bringing chemical weapons into this country, we don't have the right to even know, let alone to object.
Tomorrow you'll be out there on the streets demonstrating against this. What do you hope for the demonstrating to achieve?
It is democracy. We are registering our objection to the sale of Ghana to Americans. And I'm sure the Americans themselves know democracy. They know how democracy works. And they know that even this shambolic thing that happened in Parliament in the name of ratification is actually not ratification. And so it is the responsibility of the Americans to find out that their contracting party, that is Ghana, is working within its own rules before that contract or that agreement can be held to be valid. And so I'm very confident that America will do their homework and find out that there was no agreement executed before Parliament. And so there couldn't have been any ratification at all according to Article 75 of our Constitution. So what happened in Parliament has been a waste of everybody's time. And instead of withdrawing and doing the right thing, they are talking about resurrecting dead agreements and presenting them for approval. I don't understand what, and these are ministers who are paid by the taxpayer.
And you think they should go?
I don't think the taxpayer deserves that burden.
Doc, let's talk about Dr. Opuni. Yesterday
I'm
was
not doctor, please.
Sorry, General, I beg your pardon. Let's talk about Dr. Opuni.
Yes.
Yesterday was in court,
Yeah.
and some allegations have been leveled that your party asked people to go and support him. I know that the party has dismissed those claims and said that these are ordinary Ghanaians who thought that they should support. Why didn't Abuga Pele get the same
They may
kind
even
of
be
support?
ordinary party members,
Right.
but the fact is that the party did not bash anybody. They were acting according to the core principles of NDC.
Right.
We believe in liberty, we believe in justice, and we believe in solidarity.
Right.
Okay? So when one is affected, the others have the feeling to go and solidarize.
Okay.
And you're talking about an allegation against a member. You are not talking about a conviction of a member.
Right.
They are different things. So we are in a common law tradition where you are innocent until proven guilty.
That's true.
So if any party member expresses the wish to solidarize with a fellow party member who is innocent, I don't think that they are in breach of any of our laws.
Why didn't Mr. Abuga Pele get the same kind of solidarity expressed on his behalf?
Well, I don't think that the solidarity is organized by anybody. So people take decisions because of their training and realize that, well, this is a cause that is worthy of support. But I can, sitting from where I am, I can think that the difference is that we were in government. It is your government that investigated Abuga Pele. It is our government that initiated the prosecution. The NDC party government. Okay. So if NDC people are going to demonstrate against that decision, they will be seen to be demonstrating against their own decision, and they will be a laughing stock.
Right.
You understand? So that is the difference. But in this case, there is a whole world between fighting crime, fighting corruption, and political victimization, and so on. Okay. So until the facts are established by a competent court of jurisdiction, you wouldn't know whether indeed Dr. Opuni is guilty or not guilty.
Right.
And following our tradition, you know, this is not the first time. I can count several times. President Rawlings was invited. We solidarized. Nana Krondu and Rawlings was taken to court. We solidarized. I was arrested for leading a demonstration. They solidarized with me, and so on and so on. So this is not the first time. It is something that is part of.
We'll
NDC's,
have a lot more conversation right after this
history.
break. My guest in studio is the NDC's General Secretary, General Asiedu Nketia. We'll be back after this break with some more. Welcome back, and let me say happy birthday to Grandma Mercy of the Covenant Family Church. That's from Dr. Nanama Ajiman, and also to you, Reginald and Sergey of the St. Joseph the Work Anglican Church. Happy birthday to you both. We have 3 minutes. Welcome back to the conversation with General. In 3 minutes, let's try and deal with these issues quickly. What will be your assessment of President Akufo-Addo's government thus far, candidly?
I don't think they have performed well. And in terms of governance issues, you know, the security of the state, in terms of crime rates, this, in terms of impunity and disrespect for rule of law and other things, it's very appalling. And I didn't expect this to come from human rights activists.
Maybe you expected so much from
No. The records are there. And in terms of corruption, they have performed dismally because President Mahama, his government was ranked as the cleanest administration since 1998 by Transparency International. And even that one, they had a lot of flack about you know, the prevalence of corruption. You know, and that is understandable because we are still, as a country, we haven't still reached 50%. So even though 48, 47 appears to be the highest, we shouldn't be content. So the attack on corrupt activities were just what were perceived as corrupt activities were justifiable because as a nation we need to move in the 50s region, 60s region, and so on. So the criticism was justified. But for us to now come and come down to 40, I don't think they have done this nation any good. And then to lie about the fact that that represented their assessment, and they still were referring to President Mahamad's term as the basis of the 2017 assessment. It's not good enough.
Has the government done anything commendable?
Well, they have tried to do something commendable, but like even though the policy of free SHS, for instance, in principle is a good policy, but the implementation has been horrible.
Okay.
The effort to save the environment, the principle has been good, but the implementation
the fight against galamsey.
Yes. The principle has been good, by the approach has been a disaster.
There's Operation Calm Life now, trying to salvage the issue of robberies and criminal attacks. Better late than never.
It's not about the operation, it's about the resource.
Okay.
If the operation is ongoing and the resource continues to be bad, I don't think that Ghanaians will be jubilating because we see people running around without catching the criminals. Okay. So what we are concerned with is that has the crime rate come down?
Okay.
Has the level of impunity come down? Until the government declares their readiness to fight impunity, the crime rate will not go down.
Okwanyidoho says there may be a civilian coup d'etat in this country. Do you share his view?
That is his opinion.
Okay.
And in our party, everybody is entitled to their opinion. I don't think that he claimed that NDC says.
I thank you, General. People think he should be condemned, but are you still going to be General Secretary?
I haven't declared that I will not be General Secretary. If I take a decision, I'll let you know.
But do you have intentions of retaining your seat?
I am already a General Secretary.
Okay.
Okay. So I have work to do.
Okay.
So if I take that decision, I'll let you know.
General Asiedu,
but I have not said I'm leaving.
I thank you very much. Yes. General Asiedu Nketia said he's still at post. We will be at post tomorrow, hopefully on NewDay, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Thank you for watching. On behalf of the rest of the team, I'm George Craning and all the backroom staff. Have a good morning. We'll see you tomorrow, Wednesday.